the video.
Of course. Oh, good.
Okay.
Is that a rack of CDs right there behind you?
Yeah, well, I am a collector of
All right.
CDs.
Awesome.
But yeah, well, my first question for you. Well, first of all, thanks for accepting the interview request. And my first question is about the new record because it starts with a song that's 10 minutes long, right? It's not usual. Well, I don't think it's normal. So why did you choose to go in this way? And well, if you can tell us about the process of writing this opening track.
Yeah, I mean, we're no strangers to 10-minute long openers. We opened The Blackening with a 10-minute song. I think I Am Hell is 8 minutes. So, I, it didn't in the scope of the story. The story of the record is really what kind of dictated that. Like so much of the story of the album really kind of led where that was going. The album's a concept album, and so it's set in a uh, futuristic landscape where the sky is always painted red. It revolves around two characters. Character number one is named Ares. He loses the love of his life, Amethyst, and goes on a murderous rampage against the people who killed her. Character number two is Eros, and he loses his mother to a drug overdose, and in his downward spiral becomes radicalized by this charismatic leader and goes on his own killing spree and is one of the people who killed Amethyst. And so the opening track, Slaughter the Martyr, is basically the origin story of character number one. He is just lost the love of his life. He's in the deepest, darkest place that he's ever been, and he's just full of revenge and venom and hatred, and that was how the album had to start.
Okay, and well, when I was checking the soundtrack and the title of the record, I noticed that you kind of use the empty symbol, right? When you replacing the letter O.
Oh, right, yeah.
Yeah, well, where this idea came from, and what concept are you trying to say behind this particular?
It just was an aesthetic choice.
Okay. And well, you were talking about the conceptual story behind. So, where did you get the inspiration to write this story? I mean, can we make a parallel between another story that maybe inspired you?
I mean, there's no other story that really inspired me. I had just wanted to write. I had been wanting to write a concept album for a while, and when I first started writing the concept for it, it was kind of like the typical American story arc, like good guy, bad guy, good guy wins, and I just didn't. I didn't really get a lot of connection to it. Like I couldn't really. It was just kind of like doing nothing for me, and my kids over the pandemic, my kids started, both my two boys were teenagers. They started watching a lot of anime, and I used to be a huge anime nerd when I was younger. Like when I was like around their age, I was a huge anime nerd. Started as a Star Wars nerd, then became an anime nerd, and then I became a metal nerd. And so,
Always
you
nerd.
know, I sat there like I was very I was really into what they were watching because it was so new and modern, and I was more into like Akira and stuff from the '90s, and so I was like, dude, like let's watch this together. Like this is super sick. And so we all started watching it together. And one of the things that was very interesting about this one show that we all started watching as a family was called Attack on Titan. And Attack on Titan, unlike the regular story arcs that I see in a lot of anime series and even just movies in general, it was, both sides believed that they were doing good, but both sides were committing evil and atrocities. And that whole concept, the idea of that, was really inspiring to me because I hadn't really ever, you know, I've written 9 albums through the lens of my eyes, things that I've experienced or how I view society. And then now I'm writing not just through one character's eyes, but through the opposite character's eyes and trying to like make this story happen in a record. And it was pretty wild, man. Like I really got into it, and I really think it made the record way more emotional and way more just ferocious and intense. And I really dug that part of it.
And well, you said that the one of the inspirations was Attack on Titan, and you are like an anime nerd, something like that. And so, which character from Attack on Titan, or even from another anime, you identify yourself the most?
I mean, I don't. Yeah, I mean, I don't really look at it like that. You know what I mean? Like, I just follow the story. Like, I'm not like I'm that guy. Like, I don't watch Star Wars and think I'm Han Solo or what. Like, or you know what I mean?
Yes, well, I know that the lyrics are about the characters that you created, but well, as you are the guy that created, uh, I think somehow it can show some aspects of your own life, your own perspective of the world. So I was checking the lyrics of the song "Choke on the Ashes of Your Hate," and well, the lyrics is about war, riots, and masquerades. Um, so can we make a parallel between this world and the situation we are in now in the real life? I mean, what's the message behind this particular track?
I mean, there is no parallel. I mean, I really, the whole story happens in a futuristic wasteland, and so I really just tried to focus. There's going to be riots in the future. You know what I mean? Like all that stuff. So I really just focused it on the story. I didn't want to make it timely. I wanted it to be timeless.
Okay, and another song, the song "Unhallowed." Well, I think it's more emotional lyrics, something like that, because I think it's about a journey through pain and how to overcome this pain, right? And in which way this is a personal song, or uh, am I right in my interpretation?
That song is right after character number 2, Eros's mother dies of a drug overdose, and he's kind of in a downward spiral. He's suicidal. He's very depressed, and he's trying to snap out of it. He's trying to pull himself out of it, and I mean, for me, uh, I know I see what you're saying, Gustavo, when you say that it is like very emotional, and for me, that is one of the songs where I had to connect to, like my own feelings. Like I couldn't just read a story. You know what I mean? Like I can't just tell the story. Like the lyrics had to connect. That's probably, if anything, that was probably the biggest challenge of the record, is that I, I whenever I'd write a bunch of great lyrics and it would be great for the story, but when I sang it, like I just couldn't connect to it because I needed, I need to like it to connect with me for it to be believable. And so I just had to rewrite lyrics until that connection happened.
Yes, yes. And well, I have a question about the, gu- the guitar playing in the record. Because well, we have some people say that well, uh, there are the rhythm guitar and the solo guitar. Many people say that well, maybe you don't need to be just one, but well, we know that you are more like a rhythm guitar, right? So what do you think about this well, people that divide these two aspects?
Um, what's the question? What?
No, because uh, in some bands, for example, in ACDC, well, we have two guitar players. One is like more rhythm guitar, and
Okay,
one
yeah.
more solo guitar. And I think that's your case. I don't know, maybe you are more like a breathing guitar. So what do you think about this two aspects, people that divide the guitar player in two aspects?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I'm a well-rounded guitar player. I do, I've played all the rhythms on the last, on most of the albums. I play both the left side and the right side. And I actually do it twice because we double track all the guitars. So I two tracks on the left and two tracks on the right. So I do all those, and then all the guitar harmonies, all that stuff. So I'll do all those, and any intros. And then I do leads. I do probably half the leads on every Machine Head record. And then I let the other guitar player do. Sometimes we'll do trade offs in the song, or sometimes I'll just let the other guitar player just do a solo, and or sometimes the other guitar player says, "Hey, you take the solo." And so, I've done, my solo on this record, like my solo is Arrows and Words from the Sky. That's my solo.
Okay.
And then I think most of the other songs have like a trade off. Like someone does the first one and then I'll do the second, or vice versa. It's kind of always been like that. I mean, I think when Machine Head started, we weren't so focused on solos. Like the first album, Burn My Eyes, like some of the songs don't even have solos. Like a song like Old doesn't even have a solo. Um, but we just kind of focused. We wanted to make it more about the riffs. Like at the time when we came out with Burn My Eyes, like metal had gotten really like nerdy and solo-y and like just too long with the solos, and we were just like, hey, let's go another way. We wanted to make our solos more like Slayer, where they were more like evil notes and dissonant and kind of just like weird. And so I think we kind of brought, like, as Machine Head evolved, it kind of brought soloing back in.
Yeah, well, you were talking about Burning My Eyes, and I have a question about that record. Actually, the other record, the Blackening record, is turning 15 years in 2022, right? So I'm asking you to um, compare the two records. I mean, do you think that Blackening is as important as Burn My Eyes? How do you see these two records in the whole discography of Machine Head?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if I look at any one record as more important than the other. I'm proud of every record we put out. Um, I think that, there's, every record's kind of a step along the way. You know what I mean? Like, if it wasn't for the Burning Red, there wouldn't be a song like Descend the Shades of Night. And if there wasn't a song like Descend the Shades of Night, there wouldn't have been a song like Darkness Within. You know what I mean? Or, if there wasn't a song like Blood for Blood, there wouldn't be a song like Choke on the Ashes of Your Hate. Like, I think that every time you make something, like, sometimes it just opens up a door and you go, oh, I can do this now. You know what I mean? Like, and you don't realize it. Like, you don't realize that you can do some of the things that you can until you take that first step. So, I always felt like, if you really looked at if I really looked at our discography, like every album's an evolution, and there are songs on the previous album that allowed other songs to kind of become what they did.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, I understand what you're saying, and well, I was checking the Machine Head profile in Spotify, and the most streamed record of Machine Head is the song "Is There Anybody Out There," with almost 70 million streams. So, well, I want to know why do you think that this is the most streamed record, and what memories do you have from writing well, recording this song?
Yeah, I mean, I'm super proud of that. Like, it's the massive accomplishment. It's kind of crazy, really, because it's a standalone. It's not even on an album. It's like a
Yeah,
standalone single,
the single, right?
which makes it even crazier. Um, I think it just came at the right time. I think the world was kind of going through a bunch of crazy shit, and I think that song just tapped into something. Um, I also think that it's got to do, it's kind of got to do, like, I think a lot of like songs have more to do with like algorithms on Spotify. You know what I mean? Like, if you go to the Beatles, top 10, like the number one song for the Beatles is Here Comes the Sun. And I was like,
Yeah,
Here Comes the Sun. I was like,
it's
that's
so
not,
strange.
it's not, it's like fucking George Harrison singing it. And I'm like, what the fuck? Like, that's not, that's not my Beatles, but, somehow the algorithm, made that be the number one thing. So, uh,
Maybe
I
it
think that,
got
I
it
think
got
that
into a
playlisting,
playlist.
yeah, I think it's got a lot to do with playlists. I don't think that Spotify is, I love Spotify and I listen to Spotify a lot, but I don't think it's a very true representation of what Machine Head's fan base really listens to. Like there's not a single song from The Blackening on there, you know, in the top 10. I'm like, look, Spotify algorithm, like that's just not like, no, like that's not even fucking correct. So, yeah,
Yeah, well,
but I think it's a great tool. I love Spotify. Like I think that, just to have that, especially because my life is, I'm not going to carry around a big box of CDs. The I used to have that CD folder that you take everywhere, covered in beer and scratched up to all hell because were drunk and put
yeah.
it in the thing.
I didn't listen. I don't listen to my CDs. I just have
Yeah,
them, like to
right.
collect.
Yeah. I mean, I listen to music on YouTube or Apple Music or Spotify, because, I'm traveling all the time. So,
Yeah, well, I think you got that question a lot, but I have to ask you about, well, the Pantera reunion. What do you think about this new lineup of the band?
yeah, I mean, I think it's going to be awesome for fans. You know what I mean? I think if you were born in, you know, 1999, 2 years before Pantera broke up, and like I think that you're going to get to see, the songs again and see the band live, which is cool. Good for the fans.
Yeah, well, I think that the fans will enjoy it too. And well, Rob, I have to ask you if you have plans for uh, touring and to come to South America, to Brazil, and to bring this new record to your fans here.
Yeah, right now we've got tour. We're going out with us and Monomarth. We're co-headlining throughout Europe and the UK. We're then going to come to America, and what my goal is I would love to get to South America in January or February. That's what I
Okay.
really want to do. We have a U.S. tour starting again at the end of March, and so I'm trying to go South America, Australia, Japan for January, February, or March, or sometime around there. So I'm just trying to hook up with the right promoter. I'd really like to do, the last time that we went there, we only did the one show in Brazil, and I was bummed about that. Like I want to play. Like I want to play
Please.
like some of the other play. We've never played Rio de Janeiro. We've never
Yeah,
played.
I'm from Rio.
Yeah, I mean, we want to play. Argentina. We'd love to play in Uruguay again. We had an amazing show in Montevideo. We had. We'd love to play Colombia again. It was awesome. I'd love to hit Costa Rica. Like I'd love to get all like a really in depth. I'd love to go to Ecuador. I know a lot of my friends have gone to Quito in Ecuador, and it's supposed to be amazing. We've never been there. And we've only, to date done one or two headline shows in just Sao Paulo. So yeah, I'd like to find a promoter who can really like have us do a really in-depth, thorough South American tour. I think that'd be awesome.
Yes, and Rob, which new bands or new songs are you listening to, or you are like an old school guy that you are kind of listen more the old stuff?
No, I listen to everything. I mean, I listen to old stuff, new stuff. I listen to my kids listen to a lot of rap, so I'm always exposed to a lot of rap. Um, I like the new I Prevail. I like some of the new Lorna Shore stuff. I like some of the new Malevolence stuff that's going on. Knocked Loose. There's some cool hardcore bands that are coming out right now. Some really cool like underground hardcore bands. Like there's a hardcore band from the Bay Area called Tsunami that's like really fucking heavy and kind of gnarly old school like tough guy hardcore. And it's great. It's fucking great.
And outside the metal and rock scene, do you have like a favorite singer that people probably don't know that you listen?
I mean, I think I've been pretty open with my musical taste. You know, most people know that I love, you know, The Cure. I love a bunch of emo stuff, you know, like I love The Cure, I love My Chemical Romance, you know, like I don't think that there's anything that I could really surprise people with, you know, like Machine Head, the head cases know that I like a lot of different shit.
Yeah. Okay, Rob. So, well, thanks for the interview, and please leave a final message to your Brazilian fans.
Yeah, can't wait to see you guys. Machine Head will definitely be touring South America on the Of Kingdom and Crøwn tour cycle. So we can't wait to see you and fucking rage and thrash and go crazy.
Okay, well, can we make like a print screen?
A what? Oh, a pic? Yeah,
A print screen.
sure.
Okay. Thank you. Hope to see you in Rio de Janeiro.
All right, dude. Take it easy. Gustavo.
Bye bye.